Hello everyone, welcome back. And today, as per the schedule, our topic of discussion is chapter number 2.3 in paper 1. It is marriage. In marriage. Okay, so I request you to go through this syllabus 1. Here we have definition and universality of marriage. Then we have laws of marriage. There are various laws: prescriptive, prescriptive, preferential laws, etc. Then types of marriage. How many types are there and how it is distributed across the world. Then functions of marriage, then marriage regulations and marriage payments. So at the beginning itself, right, it will be so difficult to start our discussion from the universal definition of marriage, because first we need to have some idea about the universal aspect of the marriage, the number of variations which are found across the globe, across the earth. So then it will be easy for us to understand why, though marriage as an institution is universal, why we do not why it is not possible for our anthropologists to define marriage into which we can fit all the known forms of marriage. So how many of you want me to give an introduction about marriage? One simple introduction I can give. See, this is one particular thing, right, for which everyone will be thinking. So when I will get married, when I will get married, when I will get my partner. And one more universal aspect is once when they get married, and God, what did I do? What happened to all my personal liberty? Why I have become slave in this family? I'm not able to do whatever I think. Say early morning, I need to go to shop to buy these things. I need to take care of my kids. Oh, my wife is asking me to take here and there. Life is becoming a hell for me. So most we can hear this type of story from most of the men. Most of the men. So marriage is a cultural universal. Marriage is a cultural universal. That means marriage as an institution is found in every known society. Hardly we can find any society in the world where marriage as an institution is not there. No, everywhere, right? People have this institution of marriage. Why is it so? Such an institution is not there among other animals. But though not marriage, but marriage like aspects are found in some other animals. Can somebody give any example for this? I'll tell you one example of a bird, the very famous Sarus crane. You can see this Sarus crane in the North Indian plains. A very tall bird, a very tall bird. It reaches very easily 4 to 5 feet height. And this bird is known for lifetime pairing. Once if two birds pair up, they will make it sure that they will live lifelong. Okay. So apart from this, marriage is a cultural universal among human beings. Why is it so? If you ask different people, right, different society have different meaning for marriage. Why people get married? So different people have different meaning for this. If you ask a Chukchi of Siberia, Chukchi of Siberia. So where is Siberia? Siberia is that Asian part of Russia, known for the coldest of cold places on earth. There is one particular mountain range called as Verkhoyansk. On coldest temperature on earth is recorded in this place. And there is even one settlement here, one town by name Verkhoyansk. Uh, the annual range of temperature, that is a range, annual range of temperature. If you say range, range means maximum minus minimum. For example, for New Delhi, the maximum temperature will be around 40, say if it is 42 degrees Celsius, and minimum temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, or say for example 22 degrees Celsius. Then the annual range of temperature here is 20 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, for coastal cities like Trivandrum, if maximum temperature is 35 degrees Celsius, minimum temperature will be around 32 degrees Celsius only because of the maritime influence, marine influence, influence of the ocean. During winters, ocean will be bit warm, and during summer, ocean water will be bit cold. And as a result, there will be no much temperature fluctuations in coastal area. So in Trivandrum, the annual range of temperature will be around 3 degrees Celsius only, 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. But in New Delhi, it varies between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, leave it. So the Chukchi live in Siberia. If you ask a Chukchi, why you are getting married? A Chukchi man will say, I need a wife because I need someone to row my boat, someone to row my boat when I can do fishing. They marry for a purpose. If you ask few other society, they will ascribe this particular institution to the genius of their ancestors. Sir, we do not know. Our ancestors created this institution and we are getting married. But apart from that, there is a need that human beings need to get married. One of my friend earlier, he told me, "Thiru, what a life this is. Our life is so codified and how boring it is. But look at these animals." He was showing a monkey. How happy these monkeys are. Whatever they want, they can do. It can marry any beautiful, it can access any beautiful monkey in its group of our sex. How happy their life is. I asked him a few simple questions, saying, let this monkey be the most powerful monkey in this group. So this powerful monkey can access any other beautiful monkey in that group as its partner. But always there will be a threat. Some other monkey will always be ready to pull this monkey down, to kill this monkey, to access that female monkey. Every time he need to take a guard on, he need to make it sure that that beautiful monkey girl is there with him. And if somebody become more powerful, they'll some other monkey becomes more powerful. That monkey will kick this monkey, and they'll take that beautiful monkey. So always life is not settled here. The threat will always be there, persistent threat. But that is not the case with human being. There is no need for somebody to become more powerful, to build his muscles, to train himself in all sort of martial art to secure a beautiful woman. Just read well in your school days. Get into some good engineering college or medical college. You can think about marrying a beautiful woman with a lot of dowry. Okay, and once when a man gets married, there is no need to worry about external threat. Okay. So marriage as an institution provides a lot of comfort to human beings. First and foremost thing, unlike other animals, unlike other organisms, so human beings have a peculiar problem. And this peculiar problem was responsible for the development of all the cultural institutions. Development of all the cultural institutions. See here, the problem is number one, at the time of birth. See, at the time of birth, both the mother as well as the newborn will be in a helpless condition. But that is not the case with a cow or a horse or a dog. How many of you have seen a cow giving birth to its calves? So the newborn baby, right? The newborn calf, it will be there in the ground for 5 minutes. Slowly it will try to stand. In another 15 minutes, it will start running. It will start running. And without the help of its mother, it can move here and there. But what about human beings? Look at the prolonged infant dependency. At the time of birth, both the mother as well as the newborn baby are in a pathetic condition. Certainly they are in need of a help from somebody else. From whom they can ask help? That's why we have created an institution called as marriage, so that that person who is responsible for the pregnancy will be there at the time of delivery to take care of his wife and the newborn baby. Some sort of responsibility. So marriage with some responsibility. Then now the next problem is prolonged infant dependency. The newborn babies, right? See, when a baby is born, even the neck muscles will not be strong to hold the head. It takes close to around 2 months for the neck muscles to become prominent, and the infancy prolongs for a very long time, maybe until 3 years, 4 years, because human beings have a large brain when compared to that of their body size, and this large brain grows or develops very slowly. It takes time for this brain to grow. Brain growth is very slow and gradual. That's why even after 2 years, right, we can see kids will be struggling to speak a language or to communicate or to develop a proper socialization. So, but nowadays, right, in the name of pampering the kids, our parents are not allowing the kids to grow. The married couples are not allowing the kids to grow even until they give birth to some kid. They keep dictating, see, you should not know how to walk in the road. You need to walk like this only, you need to go like this only. we are further prolonging the dependency of the kids on the parents. And next, marriage solves. Next, very important issue is the third issue is fight for sex. Fight for sex is common in all the animals. Every animal, right, fight for sex. But human beings, they are capable of making lethal weapons. Knives, dagger, gun, etc. And if this fight is allowed to continue now, people will kill each other and that will put an end to humankind itself. So these are the conditions which necessitated human beings to introduce the institution of marriage. So by marriage, what we are going to achieve? Restricted sexual activities. Restriction of sexual access. Creation of family. So we managed to create a family so that rights and responsibilities, roles will be shared among the family members. Among the family members. So they can go ahead with the procreation. That is giving birth to babies. And they can make them a responsible people, a responsible person in the society. Okay. So that's why human beings alone have this institution of marriage. From the beginning itself, I am saying this institution of marriage is universal. It is found in all the known societies. Even people in the United States, right, they get married. Even people in Australia, they get married. The Bushmen of Kalahari, the Pygmies of Congo Basin, the Semangs and Sakais of Malaysia, even our Andaman Islanders, right, they get married. So marriage as an institution is universal because it serves a number of purposes. Okay, so now let us start our discussion from the first topic, the ways of acquiring a mate. How a person acquires a mate. Ways of acquiring a mate. There are a number of ways by which, right, a person can find and get his mate. We are going to discuss some very common way of acquiring a mate. The first important way is by negotiation. By negotiation. So, guys, once when you become an IAS officer, and without getting married, if you reach Labasna for your training, there will be people around you who will be luring you, sir. That minister, he wants to get her daughter married to you. Sir, he's a rich businessman, sir. He's having property worth a few thousand crores. And he want to get her daughter married to you. So people start negotiating. Then you will ask from your side, okay, that's fine now. How much dowry they will give? 500 crores? 600? How much they will give? Now if I ask, right, everyone will say, no sir, I will not ask dowry. I will not ask dowry. And we need to check what you are going to do once when you get into service. But my sincere advice is once when you become an IAS officer, right, you have achieved something so great in your life, and you can lead a very happy life. Your life will become very happy if you can have a control over your wife. If you ask her, go and make a coffee, and if he says, ask her mom to make, what the hell you are asking me? Life is going to be very horrible. And if he says, wait, darling, I'm just making a coffee for you. And it happens to many actually. After getting married, after getting into service, right, they look for ultra rich spouse, and people end up screwing their life. Screwing their life. Okay. So if you are born and brought up from a business class family, then you can think about see, it's not about thing. See, one need to plan their life properly. Just material things alone should not attract people in this marriage, because he or she is going to be your life partner, and it matters a lot to have peace in life. Okay, so by negotiation. So marriage by negotiation, right, is one common form of marriage which is found in the most advanced societies as well as in the most primitive societies. So here, right, there will be one go between. There will be one go between. This go between, right, these marriage brokers, they'll have good idea about the availability of brides according to their class, caste, according to how much dowry they can give, etc. So generally, right, people approach this go between in this process, and this go between will arrange for a meeting. Here, one very important thing is in the process of negotiation, suppose if they find that no, things are not going to work properly, then they can now cancel the marriage. Then they say, no, we are not going ahead with this, let us stop with this. And both the parties here will not lose their face. They'll say, okay, best wishes. I wish you, I wish that you will get be a very good partner soon. And they will move away. They'll go and search for some other source. So here they will not lose their face if the marriage didn't materialize. Then what are the things that they will discuss in this process about their class, how much dowry they can give, or in return how much money the boy can give to the girl. Have you ever heard about this? Girls are demanding dowry from boys. We call it as bride price. This is common among close to around 30% of the people on the earth. They follow this. Okay. Then they will also discuss about the number of other obligations. Number of other obligations. So what this girl will do after marriage, if she comes to my home, will she do household work? Does she know how to cook properly? Will she cook properly? So all these things, right, they will negotiate while looking for a spouse through this particular method. Among the primitive societies, they will also look for few other things like a sororate and a levirate obligation. Sororate and levirate obligation. So what do you mean by sororate or sororal polygyny we say? Suppose if one boy is going to get married with a girl, The boy side, our relatives will like, see our boy, we do not know how much we struggle to raise him, and now he is a doctor. See how much wealthy he is, how much he is, how much money he is making. Our request is, suppose if something wrong happens to this girl, if she becomes unfertile, or sometimes, right, if she becomes sick, or if she dies of some illness, will you get our son married to her sister? She's having one more sister. If something happens to her, to the next one. This is called as a sororate obligation. If you say sororal relationship, it is one person marrying his wife's sister. Wife's sister. So here the intention is good actually. So it's because of the death of this girl, right? This guy should not suffer. Because in most of the primitive societies, boys will be paying a lot of money to get married to a girl. And suppose if they lose a girl, right, because of illness or some other reason, then he need to wait for another 5 6 years. He need to work very hard. He need to make lot of money to pay us bride price to get married to some other girl. So they will ask for sororate obligation. The reverse is called as a levirate. So here they are getting the girl married to this boy, and they say, see, our girl, right? She is such a beautiful girl, so fantastic. She cooks so well. How beautiful she sings, and she is also contributing a lot in the economic activity. See, she can go out for hunting, she can do horticulture. And suppose if something wrong happens to this boy, will you get her married to her brother? This is called as a levirate obligation. And if they accept, yes, we'll do that, then only they'll go ahead with the marriage. Here their intention is to make the girl happy. But see, look at our society. The way in which we treated our woman. If a husband dies, right, immediately we will throw that woman into the burning fire of her husband. Murder, right? We are murderers. How nice we have treated our woman in the name of our culture, in the name of our religion. And we had no guts to deal with this famous institution. Somebody from Europe should come here and they should make a law to abolish sati. When see the sati as an institution, sati as a practice, as a ritual, right, was very common now in the Gangetic Plains. When the British first went there, after seeing this, right, it was a very big shock for them. And even when they have established their administration over Bengal and Bihar, they are looking at this helplessly, and they said, see, our duty is not to deal with this. It is their custom they are practicing. Why should we break our head with this? Okay, our aim is here to do business, let us make money and let us go back to Europe. But still we are a responsible administrators. If the if there is any need or if there is any demand, if it comes from the society, if they themselves come up with some idea to deal with these inhuman activities, then let us deal with this. We ourselves, there is no need for us to deal. That was her original their position, and we better know what happened to Raja Ram Mohan Roy's sister-in-law, and that made him to launch a movement for the abolition of sati, and subsequently sati was abolished in the year 1829. Fine. Okay, but see, in this society, what they are asking, it is common among most of the primitive societies. Even in our country, that there are number of such primitive tribes who ask for the levirate obligation before going for marriage. And there are few who even practice anticipatory levirate. Anticipatory levirate. Here there is no need for them to wait for there is no need for that girl to wait for her husband to die. Even before that, right, if he becomes sick and if she thinks that no, this guy is not going to become well, there is no need for her to wait for his death. She can go ahead with that guy's brother. Anticipatory leverage. So in most of the primitive societies, when they go for marriage by negotiation, they will also ask for the sororate and the levirate obligation. So then, so this is marriage by negotiation. Marriage by negotiation. Okay. So next way of acquiring a mate. Acquiring a mate by service. Some 10, 12 years back, one famous movie was made in Telugu. In that, one guy will fall in love with a girl in London. They were studying there in London, and that guy will fall in love with this girl. Then after that, they both will come back to India, where that girl, right, is from a village actually, and her father is a big landlord. Her father is a big landlord. But that guy is say, hey, you are not even looking manly. I don't think that you are capable of protecting my girl. If you want to marry my girl, there is a condition. You just come, you be there in our farm, and try to live as a farmer, and try to, I will just provide you a small hut there. You live and show that you can do all the things which I am asking you, most of the farm activities. Then I will get my daughter married to you. That guy, right, he will face all the difficulties. One fine day, that guy's dad will go there to see him, saying, what the hell you are doing, man? Is it for this girl that you need to suffer, undergo all these things? Then he will have a look at the food which that guy eats. He takes that, he keeps in his mouth. He just spits that and he runs for water. My God, how pungent it is. Pungency. You should not say spicy. Pungency is the correct term. He couldn't, they had added some 4 or 5 chilies in that. He couldn't keep that food in his mouth. That's an awesome movie. So, we know about dowry, where right people where boys relatives will ask the girls' relatives, no, you need to give 2 kg gold, one BMW car, then we can go ahead with the marriage. But everything right should be there 1 month before the marriage itself. Do not make us to cancel the marriage in the last moment. I really don't know how guys can ask such a thing to their life partner. But it is a cultural universal. In every society it happens. Marriage means it is not a marriage between boy and a girl. Here land marries land. Cattle marry cattle. Kingdom marry another kingdom. Okay. But there are few societies where the reverse happen. Where the girls will demand bride price from the boys. So what is the reason for such variations? So dowry is common in India. Dowry as a system, right, is more prevalent in India, in the circum-Mediterranean region, and wherever Indians went and settled, right, there dowry is very common. So dowry is very common where women contribute a very little in the economic activities. where woman is a liability. See, now, right? See, you girls are aspiring to become a IAS officer. You aspire to become a civil servant. It's something great actually. But some 30 years back, most of the girls in our country, what they used to do, for namesake, they will go to school. For time pass, they'll go to college. And once when the college is over, they'll come back to the home. And for them, right, there'll be nothing left for time pass. So what they will do, they will create fight within the family members, among the in-laws, or they will create some fight, some conflict between the neighbors. But time pass they used to do. Here now the parents will think, oh my God, what a liability she is. Simply sitting and eating in the home and creating all nuisance. See, her brother got married, and that guy's wife, how nice that girl is, how nice she is working. But this girl is not allowing her to work, and she is creating all nuisance in the home. So they'll see when I am going to throw this liability out of the home. And when somebody is going to get married to the girl, right, they are taking a liability to their home. I don't know what are all the nuisance which she is going to create in my home. Oh my God. So this creates, as a result, right, men demand a dowry. See, we have made our boy so and so, so you just give us dowry. This is one reason for dowry. This alone is not the reason. Many think that in a patrilineal society, as a girl moves from her home to the boy's home after marriage, many see dowry is that part of the property or wealth which she is supposed to inherit from their family. Dowry is like a conjugal fund created so that the newlywed right can extract money for at times of emergency. So apart from a woman not contributing a lot in economic activity, hypergamy is also a very important reason for dowry in our society. Hypergamy type of marriage, hypergamy rules. We call it as pratiloma, anuloma. The traditional Hindu society in India, right, is divided into four strata, four varnas, right? Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Sudras. So there are four strata. Boys side, strata 1, 2, 3, 4. Girls side, strata 1, 2, 3, 4. The hypergamy law states that this is a legal law as per the Hindu Traditional Marriage Act. Sorry, Hindu traditional law marriage rules. But our current civil laws are related to marriage, right, prohibits this type of rules. Here, a boy from this strata 1, right, he can get married to this girl. What about he getting married to this girl? Yes, he can get married to this girl also. He can think about going down, further also down, and there is no problem for him. He can get married to a girl of his same strata or the girl below his strata. But for this guy, right, he can get married to a girl from this strata and from this strata. He cannot think about he cannot think about going up in the ladder. This is prohibited. This is prohibited in as per the Hindu traditions. Now, in this scheme, right, there is a disadvantage. There is a big disadvantage. The scope of mate selection, right, for this guy is very wide. He can think about marrying any girl here. But the scope for this guy, right? He can think about getting married to girls only from his strata, only here. So for him, the scope of mate selection is very wide, but for him it is very narrow. Similarly, think about the girl's side. This girl, right? She cannot think about getting married to this guy. She can get married to only this guy. But he can think about going down. So there is always a problem for this girl. Right? What is this? We have only limited number of boys in our strata. And if most of the boys go down to get married to this girl, right, then what will happen to our girls? So these people, what they will do, as being a part of a upper strata, they will have control over a number of economic activities and they'll be accumulating lot of wealth. And using that wealth, right, they'll be luring these people. See, we are having lot of wealth, man. Why you are thinking about this girl? I'll give you 100 crores as dowry. You get married to my girl. So dowry is competitive. So that's why we can say dowry is very common among people from higher strata. When you go down in the lower strata, dowry is not that big a issue. Now recently, everywhere that issue is there. This jealous and greed is not allowing anyone to be. So, what are the reasons for dowry? The first important reason is woman not contributing a lot in economic activity. One of my friend, she's a doctor, MBBS, MD, and they were looking for an alliance. Then I just asked her casually, okay, how much dowry you will pay? She said, what? Dowry? Why should I pay, man? I'm a doctor. Why should I pay? Yes, good. If girls are not a liability, if they are if they can contribute a lot in economic sustenance, then the issue of dowry will die out. Here, a guy is not going to take a liability; he is going to take an asset with him. Apart from that, this hypergamous type of marriage, right? This was also responsible for the institution of dowry. Because that fear factor will always be there. What if 50 percentage of the boys from this strata, if they go down and get married, what will happen to the girls there? There will be shortage of boys. They will remain unmarried. This fear also, right, was responsible for these people, they themselves offering dowry in marriage. Okay. So sometimes there are few societies where women contribute a lot in economic activities. In most of the primitive societies, when people live by hunting and gathering, if they live by foraging, foraging means just moving here and there in search of food materials. And whatever they get, right, be it a tuber or be it a fruit or nut or honey, they'll just eat. Foraging. Still, there are a few primitive societies who live by foraging. Here, women contribute immensely in the economic activities. See, among hunters and gatherers, what the men will do early morning, right, after having their breakfast or whatever they eat, they will carry their bow and arrow, they'll go out for hunting. Then it is a duty of the woman. She need to take care of the babies. She need to go out and she will be doing some minor agriculture. She will be collecting fruits and nuts. Fruits and nuts. So then once when the men brings the hunted game, right, it is her duty to extract meat out of that, to preserve the leather, to tan the leather. So women here are tied to lot of work actually and they contribute a lot. And here, people write if they lose a girl from their home, they feel that they are losing something. So here, right, if a guy want to marry, he need to provide a lot of money to the girl's family. His girl's family. He need to provide lot of money to the girl's family in the name of bride price. We call it as bride price or bride wealth or progeny price. Progeny price. See, now the society is a hunting and gathering society. I told you these hunters and gatherers, right, they are not capable of producing large scale economic surplus. They hunt, eat, and they keep going. They hunt, eat, and they keep moving. These people, they cannot accumulate large quantity, or they cannot accumulate wealth. Yes or no? So now the girls here, they contribute a lot, and now if they go for marriage, right, they are asking money, bride price. Say, sir, I don't have, I just have my bow and arrow. This is my only asset. No man, for this right, we cannot give our daughter married to you. And still, if you want to marry, you can do one thing. Come to our home. Instead of money, right, you do some work in the home for a few years. You provide us some service. And then after some time, if you become happy, right, we will get our daughter married to you. This is marriage by service. Marriage by service. This is marriage by service. So this type of marriage, right, is common in the central Indian tribal belt. Among the Hos, among the Varans, okay, among the Bills, among the Gons, they used to do this type of marriage, marriage by service. There is one very good example found among the Bushmen of Kalahari Desert. Where is Kalahari Desert? This looks like Africa, right? South Africa. And here we have the very famous desert, Kalahari Desert and the Namibi Desert. Bushmen, right, this tribe, but the real name is not a Bushman. They are Bashimanar. Bashimanar. The British couldn't pronounce them and they have named them as a Bushman. But Bushmen have nothing to do with bushes. They are hunters and gatherers who live there in the Kalahari and Namibi Desert. Here among the Bushmen, if one boy wants to, so there is girls' home, and if one boy wants to get married, he need to go and ask their family, uncle, I want to get married to your daughter. By the time, right, the boy's age will be somewhere around 15 years, and the girl, right, she'll be just 10 years. She might not have even attained the puberty. Much before the time itself, right, he need to rush and he need to book this girl is for me. Then these people, they'll be very happy. What, you want to marry our girl? She's just 10 years old, man. No issue. You come to our home, you start doing service for us. Start doing service for us. So here the service will be like collecting water. So collecting water is a very difficult activity here. So every say dew water, the dew from the leaf blade, right? That's a very important source of water here. They'll take a bamboo vessel with them. They'll just keep doing this like this, and they'll collect water from the grasses. Collection of water, going for hunting. Okay, so he need to do the surveys. And once when this girl attains puberty at the age of 13 or 14, then they will get this boy married to this girl. Then the boy and girl can live together again in the home only, and the boy need to continue to provide service here for the girl's family until this girl gives birth to 5 or 6 girls. Okay. After that, right, they'll permit, okay, we are satisfied, now we can go back. So this guy, right, he goes there as a single boy. After 15 or 16 years, he will come back to his home in a huge group, in a group of he, his wife, and the 6 kids. Around some 8 people will come back to the home. This is one extreme form of marriage by service. Marriage by service. So, what are the things they need to look in while they go for marriage by service? In few societies, right, for example, I told you about the Chukchi of Siberia. Chukchi of Siberia. Here also they practice bride service, bride wealth, but here it is very much ceremonial. Here one person, right, need to, the boy who need to marry, right, if he can go and hunt one reindeer, if he can hunt one reindeer. Reindeer is the most popular hunt in the Arctic regions. Because reindeer are found in abundance and they can hunt these animals. Reindeer, it is a staple food for them. So if a boy can hunt one reindeer, they'll be happy. Yeah, good. If I did the service, you can get married. In most of the societies, the marriage by service, right, the service may be ceremonial at times. And what are the things they need to look in when they go for marriage like this? So they need to look into few issues, that how long this boy will be providing service. How long the boy will be providing service. Then the nature of the service. That is what he need to do exactly. Then the relationship during this period. They're yet to get married, that boy is providing service. So, will he be allowed to mix with the girl? Will he be allowed to live with the girl or not? So, these are the things, right, they will look into while going for marriage by service. Guys, are you okay with the term marriage by service? I have given you a few examples also, you can just go through it. Okay. Next is a marriage by exchange. There is a family. There is one more family here. So this boy, right, he wants to marry, sorry, I should not put a line this like this. This is misleading. He is our ego. Now our ego, right, he wants to marry this girl. But in that home, right, they are asking this guy to do lot of service, bride service for 3 years, 4 years. At the same time, for the girl's brother, right, they are also looking for an alliance for him. And in somebody else's home, right, they're asking this guy to do a lot of work. So sometimes, right, they may come to some terms. See, see, he'll say, okay, I will give my sister married to you. There is no need for you to come and to do any service in my home. But there is one sister for you, right? You get her married to me so that things become equal. The loss of one girl from our family, right, will be balanced by the one girl from your family. So there will be no loss of girls. There is no loss of asset. So there is no need to go for bride paying bride price or bride service. What a fantastic idea, right? Marriage by exchange. Even among Arabs, right? Even now this is common. Give me your sister and take my sister is a very common form of marriage among the Arabs. And marriage by exchange. This is one way, right, by which people can avoid paying excessive bride price and also doing bride service. Next is marriage by probation. Here one will be serving as apprentice for some time. Marriage by probation. So once when you become an IAS officer, okay. So there will be 2 years of initial training, 3 months foundation course. Then for another 7-8 months, right, phase one. After phase one, right, you'll be pushed to a district where you'll be trained under a district collector or a district magistrate. Then once again, right, you will go back to Labasna for phase two, maybe for some 3 or 4 months. So this is a probationary period where you will be trained in the administrative nuances. Then after that, they will post you as an SDM, subdivisional magistrate, the first posting for an IAS officer. Got it? So a period of probation. Here, marriage by probation. The very good example is the cookies of Manipur. Yesterday, I was speaking with one of my friends. She kept saying that gossip, gossip, gossip. These people, they are making our life so horrible. Why they are just too much into our personal things? Let whatever I do with my husband, he is not bothering. Okay, he is not bothering. Even if I come late to home, right? It's not an issue for him. But who are these people to speak about us? It happens with many actually nowadays. She said one important thing. It will take a very lot of time for these people to reach a certain class so that they will be capable of thinking others in a progressive way. That is so common in our society, right? But think about these people, how progressive these people should be. How progressive these people, right? They're not so silly, they're not parochial, they do not think about marriage and sex in a different way. For them, that is just a way of living. There's something very common, and they are not judgmental. Here, a person, right, when he's going to get married, he will not look what this girl, what if she had affairs earlier, is she really a virgin or not? Nobody will even look into these issues. Here, among these people, right, if one boy wants to get married, is a girl's home, and the boy goes there. He will call that girl's father, uncle. Your girl your daughter really looks so pretty, uncle. So can I marry her? Then, had it been our society, what will happen? What we can expect? That girl's father will shout, "Hey, are you mad or what? Who are you, man? Get lost first. Go and bring your parents. Where you are working? To which caste you belong?" But here, mostly they'll be known to each other because they'll be there living in the same. They may belong to the same clan or the same patri. So when he goes and approaches there, right, here the girl's father will say, "Wait, I will consult with my daughter." And if his daughter is comfortable, then he will come and say, "Yes, my daughter is okay with getting married to you. So let's just spend some time with her, some 2 or 3 months, where you can live like a married couple. You can indulge in sexual activity. You be there with her. By the end of 2 or 3 months, the girl need to come and report saying, 'Daddy, I'm comfortable with this guy. He's taking care of me nicely. He's having a lot of affection towards me.' Then they will go ahead with the marriage. But if the girl says, 'Dad, I don't know what sort of psycho he is, he keeps beating me, he keeps abusing me, and he gets happiness out of abusing me and beating me. Whatever I make for eating, he eats everything. He's not leaving anything for me to eat. He's not bothered. What a guy he is.' If the report is like that, right, then they will stop the marriage. No, 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 we are not going ahead with the marriage. So 2, 3 months, right, you lived with my daughter, right? So for that, you need to pay some compensation. You pay the compensation and leave. So here they want to ensure that that married life will be stable. That the girl is okay with that boy. To what extent these people are progressive in their thought, and we call them as primitive. We are primitive. They are not primitive. Got it? Okay, so marriage by probation. This is found among the cookies of Manipur. The next is a marriage by capture. Marriage by capture. So the capture may be ceremonial. Now our famous Akshay Kumar is going to make a movie about Prithviraj Chavan. Prithviraj Chavan. And already protest started. People are losing, see, that tolerance, right? Hardly we can see among the people nowadays. Let him make a movie. They are starting from the title itself. How they can name just as Prithviraj. They need to make it as Samrat Prithviraj Chavan. But they can change that, not a big deal. They can change that name. So Prithviraj, right? What he did was a blunder in the history. He was in love with the daughter of Jayachandra of Kanauj. But Jayachandra was not willing to give her daughter married to Prithviraj. And the legend says that Prithviraj in a horseback goes to their fort, he fights with them, and he carries Sanyogita in her horse. He comes back and gets married to her. Literally, he goes there to capture her. And this really irked Jayachandra. And what Jayachandra did was he managed to make it so that all the other his friendly states of him, right, will not support Prithviraj in any future activities. It was during this time Mahmud Ghor, Mahmud of Gori, was invading India. And it happened the first battle of terrain, very famous. So what actually happened in the first battle of terrain was the Muhammad of Ghor, right, he managed to escape from death. He managed to save his life and he ran away. What exactly happened was he was not totally aware of the strength of Prithviraj Chauhan. And it was not the first time, right, these people saw elephant in a battle. This when they after seeing that huge animal running, oh my god, they do not know what to do. They just throwed whatever they have on. They couldn't face the elephants and they ran away. Ran away. After 1 year, Mahmud of Ghor once again made a massive plan. And in the second battle, right, what happened? The very able general who fought for Prithviraj in the first battle, right? He was busy with a campaign in Bihar and Bengal. He went there and he couldn't come back to join Prithviraj Chauhan. And now Muhammad of Ghor, right, he was well prepared for the battle. He know how to deal with the elephants. And he even managed to make number of traps to uh, make the elephants fall. And somehow, right, he wins the battle. And legend says that Prithviraj Chauhan was blinded and he was beheaded in the battle. Was beheaded in the battle. And that paved way for the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so marriage by capture. So the marriage by capture is capture may be a real capture or it may be a ceremonial. It may be a ceremonial capture. Uh, Once, right, I was doing my post-graduation in Orissa. I went to a village near Cuttack to attend one of my classmates' marriage. Uh, Guys, do not have any prejudices. I tell you, I have loads and loads of love for the people in Orissa. I still remember those beautiful days in Bhubaneswar city. The quality of respect which people used to give, the quality of love and affection they used to show, that's really, really awesome. Really awesome. At the same time, we need to accept the laziness of the people also. In our college, right, lunch break will be between 12 to 3. 3 hours lunch break. Go, eat, have a nap, and then come back. And during those days, right, between this 12 to 3, most of the streets will be empty, shutters will be down. And so in that marriage, what happened actually, most of the ceremonies were there in the night hours. So from 8 o'clock, right, they started doing a number of, performing number of rites and rituals. And after 10:30, right, there was a dull and people, right, they were sleeping like this. And suddenly by around 12:30, things gained some momentum and they wake me. I come, important thing is going to happen. I saw that the girl's family, right, they were in the function hall. They are waiting here. And the groom, the boy's family, they just came here, they were waiting at a distance of some 100 meters. All of them were waiting here. The brother of that girl, right, from here, he didn't walk, he ran to them and he carried that boy in his shoulder and from there he ran back to this function hall, to this chowdhury. Good, that guy was bit handsome and slim, so that this guy managed to carry him. What if he is like our old Adnan Sami? Maybe 2 or 3 may run there to carry him. So these are present day remnants of some old custom. Maybe the lazy guys here, right? They won't go for marriage, and whoever have girl in their family, boys need to go there to hunt for boys, bring them and get them married. Maybe. So this is one survival which I could see. And in North Indian marriage, we have one custom of making a boy, making the groom to sit on a horseback, and they will take him as a procession in a horseback or sometimes in a chariot. That means there might have been a condition when boys need to go in a horse or to capture the girls for marriage. So capture may be ceremonial or capture may be real. So among few tribes in Rajasthan, most importantly among the Bills, they have one peculiar habit. So sometimes there will be some festivals which will be a prelude to the marriage. And in this festival, right, if a boy, if he carries the vermilion, that is the red kumkum which girls keep here, right, and if he carries that, and if he suddenly applies that over the forehead of a girl, right, that's it. He captured that girl. That girl need to marry this guy only. Marriage by capture. So capture may be ceremonial as well as capture may be real. Then marriage by intrusion. This is one very important type of marriage which is found among even the tribes in the central Indian tribal belt. Marriage by intrusion. Marriage by intrusion. So what happens here? Here the girl, right, she initiates the marriage activity. If she is fond of a boy, she will go to their family and she will ask, Auntie, I want to marry your son. You want to marry my son? Okay, let us start the ritual then. The ritual is they will beat her. They will not allow her inside the home. They'll make her to sit in the veranda. They will not provide 3 square meals for her. All the waste things they'll throw, hey, eat like this. And they'll check how long the girl survive or sustain this humiliation. Maybe for 1 week or 10 days. And if the girl, if she didn't abandon her intention of marrying that guy, and if she continues to stay there facing all the abusers, then they'll say, yeah, the ritual is over. Now come, you can get married. Sometimes, right, a girl may become pregnant in a casual relationship. And once when she knows that she becomes pregnant, she will go there to the family and she'll say, your son is responsible for pregnancy. I want to marry her. Then again, right, for, at least for formality, they will do this ritual. They'll make her to sit outside. They will not provide her proper food. They will, just for namesake, they will abuse her. And finally, right, if she manages to be there for 1 week or 10 days, then they will get that girl married to this boy. This is called as marriage by intrusion. And there is one more common way of getting married. That is of finding a mate. That is marriage by trial. Here, a boy need to prove his ability that he is so manly. It is possible for him to. It is very much possible for him to treat his wife properly. He is manly. He can protect her. Okay. So this is called as marriage by trial. In ancient during the ancient Chola and Pandya period in South India, after the Pongal festival, after the Shankranti, there is a harvest festival and people will be having a lot of money with them and they'll think about getting their daughter married. That time, right, they used to conduct this Jallikattu, where young and brave boys, right, one need to be very, very brave to go and stand before a bull, a 1 ton bull which runs towards him. And every year, right, there will be tens of casualties. Even after this, right, boys are capable of going and standing before a bull means that is courage only. Our ancient rulers, right, they practiced Jallikattu because during peacetime, when there is no war, our boys should not lose their fighting spirit. Our soldiers should not lose their fighting spirit. So there may not be a war for 50 years, 60 years, etc. There may not be any conflict for a prolonged period. So this should not make the people weak. And above all, man should be manly, right? Man should be manly. Okay. So when this Jallikattu is going on, right, that time the girls will be there, they'll be saying, they'll look at this boy is playing the game and they will ask that dad, see that guy, how handsome he is, dad, somehow, dad, please get me married to that guy. I want that guy only. So here one need to show their ability so that they can think about getting married. And there is one such common custom among the bills of Rajasthan. The bills, right, they live in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and even parts of Maharashtra. Bill means, in Dravidian language, it means bill, bow. Bow. They are hunters, they carry bow and arrow. So we call them as, so they have the name bills. So they have a peculiar custom. What they used to do, generally during Holi period, Holi is a festival of pain in Rajasthan. Here, what girls used to do, they used to keep one rope inside their chuni, inside their dupatta. They roll it and they'll keep it with them. And when boys come to pour water over them, right, they'll form a group, they'll chase these boys and they'll beat them black and blue. Most of these guys, right, will have a lot of marks in their back after the Holi. So here, what the bills used to do during Holi time, they will raise a pole, maybe some 15 or some 15 feet tall pole, and in the top, right, they will tie a bag containing coconut, jaggery, etc. So boys will be there around this and they will try to climb to take this. Girls, right, they will form a circle around them, and girls, right, what they will do, they will disturb their activity by throwing water on them. They'll throw water, they'll even pull them down, so that easily they will not allow these boys to go on to climb there. And finally, if one guy succeeds in going and not taking that bag, and if he breaks open that coconut, then he can get married to any girl. He'll say, this girl is beautiful, I want to marry her. They'll get them married. It's marriage by trial. Marriage by trial. And one last and very important way of selecting a spouse, that is marriage by elopement. In every society, be it a modern society or let it be a primitive society, there will always be some sort of resistance to some sort of love marriages. Okay. Maybe there may be a difference in caste, or there may be a difference in class, or the girl's family may not like the boy's family due to some other old issues. So what generally they will do under this condition, if the boy and girl, if they become too much emotional and if they feel that no, I cannot just live without you, then they will elope, they will run away. They'll go to some other place. And in every society, there is a rule in most of the primitive society that if the eloped people, if they come back to their village, maybe after a few years, and if they have two or three babies, then the society will allow them back and they will accept them back. Will accept them back. So these are the popular way of acquiring a mate. Acquiring a mate. Acquiring a mate by negotiation, by service, by probation, by intrusion, by trial, by elopement, etc. So guys goes through this. Then now let us discuss forms of marriage. See, we are following a different order because if you go as per the order given in the syllabus, it will be very difficult for us to understand. So this will give you a proper understanding. That's why we are going in a particular order. After the ways of acquiring a mate, let us now discuss the forms of marriage. Forms of marriage. So broadly, right, marriage can be classified into two. Monogamy and then polygamy. So if you say monogamy, it means here there are only going to be two people here, husband and wife, that's it. In polygamy, right, more number of people are involved in the marriage. One person can get married to four or five girls. Or the reverse, one girl may get married to four or five boys. And once again, like I tell you, we should not have prejudices over this thing. If somebody is practicing such a marriage, hey, why they are, oh, how they can practice, why they are practicing this? No. Culture is unique to people, and if people practice culture right, it means environment permits them to do, and there is a necessary for them, there is a need for them to do that. Okay. So first let us discuss about monogamy. Monogamy is a myth. There was one discussion about this in the American Anthropological Association, and the final conclusion was monogamy. There is nothing like monogamy. See, monogamy is again divided into two types. Number one, strict monogamy. Then number two, serial or remarrying monogamy. Strict monogamy means here one person gets married to a girl, and irrespective of whatever happens to that girl, let her live with him or let her die. Even after her death, right here, the boy is not going to think about another girl in his life. This is strict monogamy, but most of the societies, right, will not have such a rule because once when people lose their partner, they'll think about their society will allow them to get married to somebody else. Okay. So strict monogamy means generally, right, few people, right, what they will do after getting married, they may have one or two kids, and he may be having lot of emotional attachment over his family. Maybe after 10 years, right, if he lose his wife, then his morality, his moral standards may not allow him to think about another girl. He'll say, okay, my two kids are there. I will better live for these kids. Live for the kids. This is strict monogamy. Serial or remarrying monogamy means see, Hinduism permits this type of marriage. One person, right? At a given point of time, he need to live with one girl. He can either kill her or divorce her. Then you can think about getting married to another girl. This is called as serial or remarrying monogamy. Serial or remarrying monogamy. This is a polygamy in installment. Polygamy in installment. Next is a polygamy. Polygamy. Broadly, right, this we can classify it into four types. Number one, polygyny. Polygyny. Number two, polyandry. Number three, a mix of both. Polygyandry, and one extreme form, group marriages. Group marriage. So first let us discuss about polygyny. Okay. Again, polygyny may be bigamy. Here one guy, right, he gets married to two girls, having two wives. That is bigamy. Then it may be a sororal polygyny. Here one boy gets married to one girl, two girl, three girl, and all these girls are sisters. Then we call this type of marriage. This is the symbol which indicates that they are siblings. This line means they are getting married. Okay. So this is an example for sororal polygyny. Sororal polygyny. Then it may be a general polygyny. In which a man gets married to one, two, three, or four girls, and they are not sisters. They are not siblings. That is general polygyny. So for polygyny, right, you can give any examples. There is no need to worry. Nobody will bother. If a boy is going to have more number of wives, right, nobody is going to bother. Well, let him enjoy. But on the other hand, if a girl has more than one husband, then that is going to be something very big in our society. See, but one thing I would like to tell you, these all are part and parcel of our society. Our Mahabharata, right, speaks about fraternal or adultic polyandry. When Arjuna goes there and when he manages to get one girl in a competition, his mother, right, without having any idea, he just asked him, so whatever you brought, right, share it with your brothers. Later she come to know, oh my God, you brought a girl. But see how strict that society was. They have no provisions to take back their words. Once said is said, okay, I said, no, I cannot take back my words. Okay, you five, right, you all get married to that girl. Here, one thing I'll tell you. So, our myth, right, indicates the condition of the past. That means there was a time when polyandry was permitted. So, institution like this, the same Mahabharata, right, we also speak about Lord Krishna and his concubine relationship when he was there in Gokula. He had number of girlfriends. So that means there was a time when all these things were permitted in our society. Premarital sex was permitted. Polyandry was permitted. And see, next in Ramayana, Ramayana speaks a lot about monogamy. That means the society has evolved now. They have reached a stage that this type of polygamous relationship created conflict, and they need to impose a strict law of monogamy. Got it? So, okay. Our myth shows or gives number of evidences and examples that polyandry was a part of our Indian society and it was permitted. It was permitted. It is not a big sin as per the tradition. Okay, fine. So next is the polyandry. So, but while mentioning polyandry, you need to be very careful with the examples. So here you should not make any mistake. First one is fraternal or adultic polyandry. So here one girl is married to one boy, two boy, three, four, and all of them are siblings. They are from same home. Draupadi and Pancha right? Five Pandavas. They are very good example for fraternal or adultic polyandry. In contemporary society, there are few examples for this. The Todas and Kotas. These are very famous examples from India. The Todas of Nilgiris. Where is Nilgiris? Nilgiris is in TN, right, in Western Ghats. In the Kerala TN border, we can see these Todas. Todas, right, they are cattle herders. They used to rear buffaloes, but they are not nomadic because of a very high rainfall and because of the lush green vegetation there, these people are sedentary. So Todas, right, they practice a fraternal polyandry. The Khazars live in the Jawansari region of Uttarakhand. Khazars are in Uttarakhand. The Khazars, right, they practice polyandry. Then the Galang of Arunachal Pradesh. Their society also permits girls to get married or to have multiple husbands at the same point of time. Okay. So, polyandry may be fraternal or it may be non-fraternal or non-adultic. For which I have given added one more example along with the Todas, Kotas and Gala, the Kotas of Quotas, K-O-T-A-S. I'll just write it again. So please be thorough with these examples. The Todas of Nilgiris, the quotas of Nilgiris, the Kasa tribe of the Juansari region of Uttarakhand, then the Galang of Arunachal Pradesh. Among them, the quotas, right, they practice non-fraternal or non-adultic polyandry. So you can write all the four as an example for both the things. So there are two types of polyandry. One, it may be fraternal or adultic, or it may be non-fraternal or non-adultic. Okay. The next one is polygayandry. Polygayandry. Okay. The Marquesans of Polynesia and our own Todas. They practice polygayandry. So I'll tell you what exactly happened with the Todas and why they practice polygayandry. So among the Todas, female infanticide was very, very common. Female infanticide was very, very common. But they do not do it for dowry purpose. Even in animals, right, this particular aspect is found, even among animals. That is, even if a dog, right, if it gives birth to 5 or 6 puppies, after them, after the 5 puppies, if 3 are girls, then the dog itself, right, will kill 2 out of them. Even tigers used to do this because these animals believe that it is the girls who will be giving birth to babies and they will increase the population. If you have a control over the girls, you can have a control over the population. So it is a type of population control. When resources are scarce, right, they cannot allow their population to grow at an infinite rate. So they do this. So they make it sure that they can control the population. Similarly, even the Todas, right, they used to practice a female infanticide. As a result, they have an unusually skewed or unusual sex ratio. There was a time, maybe some 300, 400 years back, the sex ratio was around 300 or 350 or 400 per 1000 males. 400 females per 1000 males. Is it possible for these people to think about monogamy? If they go for monogamy, in a single generation, 600 boys will be left out without getting married. So this situation, right, forced them to go for to practice polyandry, and generally they practice fraternal polyandry. So within a home, right, if there are 1, 2, 3, 4 boys, they all will get married to one girl. This girl will be common to all the 4 boys. But they will have a detailed rule actually, detailed rule about with which guy the girl is going to live. First year with the first boy, second year the second boy. After giving birth to a baby, then the next boy. Like that, right? They have arrangements. to minimize conflict and confusion. So later came the Christian missionaries. What the Christian missionaries did, see, they tried to educate the people. Right? What you are doing is wrong. In fact, Todas were one among the most studied tribes in the world. So during the colonial period, right now, whoever comes to this tropical place, they'll always find it so happy to go to Ooty, to Nilgiris because of the environment there and the Alps like vegetation there, the cold climate. At the same time, a very peculiar culture among the Todas. Now, if you go and meet a Toda saying, I'm an anthropologist, I came here to do research right now, uh, it will not be a surprise for them. They'll say, oh, come, 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 come. Okay, how much you are going to give? See, for Indians, right, these people, they will not provide too much of support. They know because Indians will not give them more money. On the other hand, if an European or an American anthropologist comes there, they'll go and cooperate a lot because they'll be paying these guys in dollars a lot of money, dollars. So, with the passage of time, what happened? The missionaries penetrated these people and they tried to educate them, and somehow they managed to stop this particular activity. So, within a matter of 2 or 3 generations, right, this sex ratio almost became normal. It became almost 980 per thousand. Now they can even think about going for monogamy. But instead of going for monogamy, what they did earlier for 4 boys, 1 girl, right? They took 2 more girls and even they will be common for all the 4. This is called as polygynandry. And polygynandry is common among the Todas of Nilgiris, the Marcusans of Polynesia. And finally comes the group marriage. So where lies the actual difference between this polygynandry and group marriage? In polygynandry, right, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys are there. They'll take 1 girl now. Say maybe after, and all these people are brothers here. Most of the cases. And next year they'll take 1 girl. After 3 years they may add 1 more girl. Another after 4 years they may add 1 more girl. But in group marriage, whoever right are going to get married, they all will sit together and the rituals will be performed, and so that they can indulge uh, in family building after this. And even they will have set of rules. Who will be living in the first year? Who will be living with whom in the second year? And this is this is group marriage. And very good example for group marriage, right? There is one particular tribe in Brazil called as Cain Gang, who even now practice group marriages. Cain Gang. So guys, are you okay with the forms of marriage? Monogamy, polygamy. Polygamy, right? Again, polygyny and polyandry. We have polygyandry and then group marriages. So I do not want you to forget the examples. Examples are very, 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 very important here. Examples are very, very, the two in the case of polyandry. So do not forget the Todas of Nilgiris, Todas and Kotas of Nilgiris, the Khasas of the Jawansari region of Uttarakhand and the Galang of Arunachal Pradesh. We have also discussed about the Marcusans of, there are many things to discuss about the Marcusans of Polynesia. The Marcusans of Polynesia and the Cain Gang of Brazil. So once when you are comfortable with this, right, then we can move on to the next topic, that is the rules of marriage. In broad, right, there are 3 set of rules. The first rule is a prescriptive rule. Prescriptive rule. Prescriptive, prescriptive rule. This is a set of a negative rule. This rule speaks about whom one should not marry. Whom one should not marry. This is prescriptive rule. In prescriptive rule, we discuss about incest taboo. We have discussed earlier, right? Incest refers to the sexual relation between close biological relatives. Close biological relatives. Incest taboo. Taboo means these are activities which are prohibited in a society. Which are prohibited, which are not allowed. So by incest taboo, we refer to the prevention of a sexual relation or rules which relates to the prohibition of sexual relation between close biological relatives. This is prescriptive rule. We will discuss that in length. This is followed by number 2, prescriptive rule. This is a positive rule. This says whom one should marry. That is the prescriptive rule. It prescribes whom one should marry. So in prescriptive rule, we will discuss about prescriptive rule, endogamy, that is marriage within a group, and exogamy, marriage outside the group. No, you should not marry within the group. You should always marry outside one's own group. That is the exogamy, endogamy, and exogamy rules. After that, the third rule is preferential rule. Here in the society, there are number of ways by which a person can select his spouse, but few ways are preferred. In this, we discuss about preferential rule, cross cousin marriages. Preferential rule, parallel cousin marriages. There are also uncle, niece marriages. So this we will discuss in the preferential rule. After which are the two important religious rules, hypergamy and hypogamy. Hypergamy and hypogamy. So these are rules related to or which are commonly found in a stratified society. When a society divides its own people into different strata, so who can marry whom? From which strata girl can move to which strata? So this hypergamy and the hypogamy rules, right, relate to this particular thing. Okay. So today let us conclude our lecture with this and tomorrow let us continue our discussion from the rules of marriage. Prescriptive rule, prescriptive, prescriptive and the preferential. So we started our discussion from the topic ways of acquiring a mate, and that is not there in our syllabus actually. But in earlier syllabus, right, where things are a bit detailed, that time they have mentioned about ways of acquiring a mate. In the year 2008, when they have changed the syllabus, right, they have omitted that, but still these are part and parcel of our syllabus. When I was teaching, I hope in the year 2010 or 11, there was one crash course. We are doing it fast for one batch. In that batch, right, I have asked the students, see, the topic ways of acquiring a mate is not there in the syllabus. Shall we do that or shall we leave that? Sir, it is not there in the syllabus, right? Let us leave it like that. I left that and I continued my discussion. In that year, right, just in front of our face, right, they have asked one very prominent question. Ways of acquiring a mate for marriage. So it's better to add that and not to discuss that. So the examples are bit important here. Right? The examples are bit important. So you need to remember the examples. And the two, in the case of polyandry, you need to be very, very careful. Because here we are going to discuss about a woman and her multiple partners, and in our society, right, if you make a wrong statement, people won't take it lightly. I told you about Perumal Murugan and his book, right? One Part Woman. Though it was a fiction, like he wrote about some old customs, and people couldn't accept that. Tolerance level is going down everywhere there, everywhere in our country. Okay, so keep cool. As an anthropologist, what I meant to say is we should not have prejudices. If some society is practicing some particular custom or some particular ritual or some particular pattern, we should not be judgmental. We need to understand why they are practicing that. Is there any functional utility for such a cultural trait? That's what we are supposed to learn as an anthropologist, and we should never have prejudices over others' culture. Okay, so thank you then. Let us wind up the session with this and let us continue our discussion in marriage in the next class. Until then, thank you. Have a great day.